Right, let's start by saying Barak Hawa, Barak Hawashai, Barak Hawa, Barak Hawashai, Barak Hawa, Barak Hawashai, Kala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakadash. Double honor unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who rule well, who taught us his truth. Um, Salutations to all the sincere Arkim out there pushing the word in truth and in sincerity also. Yehovah Bashem Yahushai Barakatam. Now, this is a quick impromptu here. Just getting some stuff done, but I've seen this article whilst I'm on the laptop. And breaking news just got released, minutes ago, about 45 minutes ago, or whatever, if that. Over here in the UK, and basically, man, it just proves that we're moving further towards, moments away from the implementation of a completely digitalized system. The mark of the beast is the implantable RFID chip, as mentioned in the Holy Scriptures and broken down properly, primarily by the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone. Okay, these other camps ain't gonna tell you that straight up, and if they do, they ain't pushing it as it should. The only camp pushing it as it should be is Great Millstone. Okay, um, you know, as they say, GMS said it first. You heard it here first, man. Okay, the spirit of the Lord is definitely, um, you know, residing, with brothers from the leadership on down, where it concerns, getting in these prophecies and making it all make sense in real time. Okay, this is what we do, man. We do real time updates showing you that what was prophesied from before of old is coming to pass, man. So this is an article just released, fresh off the press, breaking news in England. Medical data of 500,000 Britons listed for sale on a Chinese website, the government says. Technology Minister Ian Murray said the information was found listed for sale on the website Alibaba. Can you believe that? So that website Alibaba, they're selling medical information, man. All right, and it says the medical data of 500,000 volunteers to Biobank, the UK's health information database, has been offered for sale online, the government has said. Technology Minister Ian Murray told the Commons on Thursday the charity had told the government the data had been advertised for sale by several sellers on Alibaba e-commerce platform in China. All right. He added the charity said the data did not contain participants' names, addresses, contact details, or telephone numbers. Oh yeah, it says the biobank is a collection of data which is being used to achieve improvements in the detection and treatment of dementia, cancers, and Parkinson's. All right. It says, and Mr. Murray said the government has spoken to the vendor today and they did not believe that there were any purchases from the free listings before they were taken down. All right. Now, this just shows you how easy it is to get things up on the net. And, they call it, is it the dark web, black markets and things of that nature. Things get sold, man. You know, now if you sit there and believe, oh well, nah, it wasn't done, or this has never happened before, you'd be a fool. Okay, this has just been blown up and come to the light, but things like this have been going on, man, and it proves, right, that these companies, because we've done it before, all these companies, and then you got not the franchise, what's the other word, break off companies, father companies, and all that stuff, um startups that emerge out of age old um firms, right? Essentially what happens is, man, they they um they 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 basically will put things in different names and put bosses at the top, not knowing that it all goes back to one mega company, man. you know and essentially you're just data to these people. Okay, you just data to these people, and they're selling information off, and then they'll put like an article out here like this. Oh no, well, we managed to stop it, and no sales were made. Come on, man. You know, they just look at you like data. All right, and your name, your address, your identity, and all of that. Everything's going digital now. In America, they're talking about, Trump is talking about, you can't even get access to banking in the near future if you don't supply the biometrics. So this is the age we're in, where everything is online. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go here and get Revelation. Bear me one moment. Because we are definitely living in the time where Revelation chapter 13 and 16 is taking place, man. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads, man. So that causation starts with eliminating you from society, changing the dynamics as it currently is, yeah, changing the dynamics as they currently are, to back you up into a system where now you're forced to change. Okay, and that started with the cash, you know, limiting cash. You can't pay this, you can't pay that, everything has to be online. And you know, it's a programming, man. It's a programming to where society has now been programmed that if you to basically scoff at cash. Okay, but that's what you call gradualism. You know, subtle increments, you know, to the other side. Okay, so your medical data, you know, now let's just say they didn't sell it and they're telling the truth, they didn't sell it, which I don't believe. You know, we know that data and information has been traded behind the scenes on dark markets and all that stuff for years. But let's just say they didn't sell. It's still bad. The fact is, it was on the website for sale. A purchase never happened, but it was on the website for sale. So you think you're going to your hospitals and, you know, everything, even at the hospitals now, everything's digital. You know, letters. You know, they still may send the correspondence to the house. I was talking with brothers about this, but they slow down the physical correspondence. There's many a times brothers have had hospital appointments and checkups or whatever the case may be, and they've given you an e-letter, and they also post you a letter, but the letter comes through the post after you've done the appointment. That happened to me a couple of weeks ago, man. I was a week and a half done the appointment a week and a half ago, went to the hospital, got seen, all of that stuff, right? And then a week and a half later, the letter comes through the post, and it's like, this is slow. But they're doing that on purpose because they're trying to wean out. They're trying to wean out, you know, the physicality of everything. No more paper trails, none of that. Everything's digital, everything's online. Okay, but the point is that it was even up there in the first place, man. That's what's crazy. It was up there in the first place on Alibaba. All right, the information, and they said primarily about cancers. Um, uh, 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 let's go back up. It said cancers, dementia, and Parkinson's, man. Right. So that just shows that all these companies that meant to safeguard and data protection and this and that, that's all bullshit, man. They be trading shit, you know, GDP. That's what they call it in England, GDP. You know, data protection and this and that. Look, man, they had it on the website for sale on Alibaba. That is ridiculous, man. So you think, oh yeah, the information's safe with the hospitals. It's all private and confidential. It's not private and confidential. You know. Let's read some more. Okay. It said, he said data sets including gender, age, month, and year of birth, socio-economic status, lifestyle habits, and measures from biological samples were included. So how's that not everything about you then? So you're just a piece of data, man. We keep saying it, and it's like, before, people weren't really getting it. Ah, man, this is futuristic. It's not true. It's not real. And then they put concepts in your Black Mirrors and your shows like that and things of that nature. But now you can see it coming to pass, man. And people are realizing that the Bible's true. And the men of the Lord been preaching, man. And everything that was said by the prophets is coming to pass. The scripture says that though it tarry, wait for it. All right. So these things, they're no longer tarrying. These prophecies are no longer tarrying, man. And it's evidently clear that in England, I mean, all over the world, but this is just the England national example, right? The health service over here, you're just data at the end of the day, okay? It says your gender, your age, your month of birth, and month and year of birth, socio-economic status. Oh, so he's an upper class, or he's a middle class, or she's a working class. You know, they're impoverished, they're this, they're that. Your socio-economic status, your lifestyle habits, because your socio-economic status is closely interlinked with your lifestyle habits, man. All right? That's why they say people that are, well, I mean, not all. You got some cases where, you know, you got well-off people that have terrible health, but for the most part, people that are, you know, well-off financially, they tend to be in good shape, you know, because they take a more holistic approach to life. You know, their money works for them now. They're able to invest in other areas of life. They no longer need to trade all their time for cash. You know, their money makes money for them, so they can invest in health and well-being. All right. So they may go to more spas, more gyms, private healthcare. All right. Whereas if you're not of that status, that social economic status, and every minute of the day counts because that's a couple of pennies in your account, then you're just going to be consumed with working, and you're not going to have time for that. So that affects your lifestyle. You don't have time to shop. You don't have the funds to shop at higher premium grocery stores. You don't have the time to exercise and look after your body. You're just about paying rent to keep a roof over your head, essentially, and shoes on your children's feet. All right. So your socio-economic status is closely interlinked with your lifestyle habits, and measures from biological samples were included. So you be giving off your data. Oh, the hospital wants this blood test. They want that. They want, um, as graphic and grim as it is, these hospitals, they do stool samples, stool tests for certain things, all kind of tests they're running. All right. The biological samples were included, man. So to your horror, you could go on Alibaba and see all of that, and it was on sale on Alibaba's, the Chinese website, marketplace, man. So again, you are data, man. All this, we care about the patients, your dignity, your confidentiality. You can tell your doctor anything, this and that. They type it up, they put it on the system. This data rather gets transferred over, to the biobank and all that. They connect it in. They have access to these things, and behind your back on the dark web, they're trading it, man. Okay. And I mean, how more personal and confidential do you get other than your name, your age, and your health status, man? You know, that's all the way invasion of privacy. So what that lets you know is they do not care. They simply do not care. That's just what it comes down to, man. There's more in this article. Um, you know, it says this is a clear breach of the contract signed by these academic institutions, and they, along with the individuals involved, have had their access suspended. you know, right? And your socio-economic status, I want to keep harping on that point because that links heavily to your obedience to the system. Okay, again, Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, right? You got in all these shows, they show you the resistors, man. Oh well, they're not down with the system. Even with the C19, they keep a track of, because what they do now is they were self appointing appointments, man. Oh, you are booked to get your yabba dabba on such and such a date at such and such a time at such and such location. They were doing that. Now, if you kept refusing and not turning up to them yabba dabba appointments, that gets passed over to another body within the health service, and you go down as a resistor. All right. Data is not only collected if you took the yabba dabba, data was also being collected if you didn't take it. And then now, when the financial system flips over to fully digital, you're going to be on a disadvantaged lower package, right? You don't have access to this, you don't have access to that. Well, 6 or 7 years ago, when the C19 was out, you didn't comply. You ain't up to date with your yabba dabbas. You ain't got this, you ain't got that. So now that we're transferring everything digital, you're on a lower package. You can't go here, you can't go there, you can't do this. You don't have access to that. You can only go outside your house 2 times a week. You could bop bop bop. There goes your 15-minute cities. There goes your where's that scripture, man? A man shall desire to go into his cities. That Ezra's, man. Let's see if I can pull that. Man, bear me. Right. Yep, Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Yeah, I mean, what's that gonna be about? Because they're gonna introduce borders. They showed you that in I believe there was it was the show Years and Years, Netflix. It was on Netflix, based over here in the UK, and it was pretty much like how the world goes into like the futuristic side of the world essentially. But it wasn't just no jump from reality now to some futuristic world. It was showing you the gradual increments of how life is right now in England and how things are going to be implemented overnight and within a matter of months or years, couple of years, hence the name of the show, Years and Years. Within 2 to 3 years, everything changed. And in one of the episodes, the army got dispensed on the roads, boots were on the ground, fences were built, barriers were put down, and you couldn't travel, man. Oh, why can't I travel? What's going on? Oh, yeah, you don't have the access to go past this waypoint. And you didn't have the access to go past this waypoint. You know what was the defining factor of why you couldn't go past the access point in the show? It was your socio-economic status. So they went to these impoverished areas, and basically they caged them in. All right. So your status, your socio-economic status, your health records, your lifestyle habits, your contribution to society, all of that is being calculated up, man. All right. So they want to get everyone on the chip. All right. The scripture says that, man. We just read it in Revelation. They want to get everyone on this mark of the beast thing, yeah. But then even when they get people on the mark of the beast, it's not going to be everyone's on the same package. There's going to be packages, man. There's going to be different packages. There's going to be different subscription levels. And based upon how high of a package you're entitled to, that's going to entitle you to have more out of the CHIP. And if you're on a lower tier package, you're going to get less and be entitled to less. Okay? That hierarchical system is coming back, man. But that is controlled to the T and managed when everything goes digital, man. Right? So all these online dirty sales they're doing, on the black markets and things of that nature, this ain't nothing new, man. Just certain scandals are just getting released. Oh wow, we didn't know about this. No, you done been known about this, man. You've been knowing about this. You've been participating and making it happen, man. But they're just coming out and saying it because they're putting them final pieces of the puzzle together for that digital system, right? That's why the scripture says, while he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall rain upon him while he's eating. That mark of the beast system is going to be implemented and on the way and running, but it's not going to be that new world order, that final piece of the puzzle is not going to be placed to complete it. The Lord is going to crash the show and take it from there, man. All right. So again, this is breaking news in England. You know, people's medical data was released on Alibaba and up for sale on this Chinese market, man. You are data to these people. They don't care about you. You know, they don't care about what your favorite color is, what your favorite meal is, what your favorite drink is, you know, your favorite t-shirt or anything. They don't give a damn, man. From birth, you're given a birth certificate. All right? The all caps on your birth certificate represents the ownership, man. All right? You know, around the world, they got different names for it. In America, you got the Social Security. In England, it's called the National Insurance Number, your NI number. You're giving numbers, you're giving codes your whole fucking life, man. You're giving numbers and codes your whole life, and then when you die, you get a death certificate, man. Issued to the family, the loved ones. Yeah? So from birth to death, right? You're owned by the system, man. Okay? You're just a piece of data, a slave that furthers the furtherance of this man's kingdom, this man's world. Okay? They don't care about you. You are simply a piece of data on some computer screen. Alright? That's it, man. So, you know, we're not surprised by this, but we're bringing out the information, man. You know, we got to bring out the information, okay, on what's going on, man. So I'm gonna close it there and come back with some more shows. I wanted to do another show later. Lord willing, I can come back and do another show later on, man. But I just saw this article. I was getting some stuff done. I said, you know what? Let me just do a quick impromptu on this, man. Yeah. There was one more scripture I wanted to quote, man. Yeah. What was that scripture, man? There's one more scripture I wanted to quote. It's not coming to mind. It's alright. It's alright, man. You know, we brought out the precepts anyway. But that's pretty much the point, man. I'll catch you in the next show. Alright? Shalom.